What is up, woke family? It's your boy Wokey Bucks, and I'm back again with another live stream, car stream today. You feel what I'm saying? Biblical reason why we speak different languages. There are so many different layers, but we're gonna start off with the original biblical reason, and then from there, I'm gonna give you my own perspective, and then from there, we're gonna go off of that. You feel what I'm saying? So let's start off first and foremost with the Tower of Babel, right? Back in biblical times, there was a point where everybody spoke the same language, and the people that spoke the same language, it wasn't English though. The people that spoke the same language wanted to build a tower so high that they were going to be able to get to God, right? And God warned them not to continuously do that. But as God warned the people to not continuously build a tower all the way up to heaven to see God, right? The people were adamant on still building that tower, right? They were very, very non-compliant. They were not obedient to God. And what God eventually ended up doing was he eventually ended up making those people to speak different languages across the world so that they would not be able to understand each other, so that they would not be able to build that tower. Because if somebody's speaking, for example, right, let's say somebody's speaking Spanish and another person's speaking Chinese, how are you going to understand what each other are saying to be able to build that tower unless there's a common, you feel what I'm saying? Unless there's a common language that you guys are speaking to be able to understand each other. One quick second, guys. My bad. They're not taught to listen to God. They're not taught to obey God's commandments. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a wrap up because I don't know if you guys heard me, but from time immemorial, whether it was the Canaanites or the Israelites who were part of Jacob's family, right? Jacob became Israel, and now he named his people the Israelites. They've not been taught, but they've always disrespected God from time immemorial. God would give a commandment, they do not obey it. They're always going against what God has in store, what God has in plan. And then when they end up getting wrong, they wonder why. Because you're not obeying what God has set in plan for you. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why you're seeing it. Now, yes, speaking different languages in 2022 has its positives, but if you think about it, a lot of the concepts or the constructs that you see in society today were consequences from God. Not that it was a consequence to give birth to children, right? Or not to give birth to children, but not that it was a consequence for children to be born. But if you think about it, I believe children were originally supposed to be born from men. But God made it as a consequence for women because of Eve disobeying him and eating from the tree of the fruit of knowledge and good and evil. So God has his ways of punishing people who disobey him. He's done it from time immemorial because the thing is that human nature is for people to be disobedient and not listen to God and not give God his reverence. And then when people end up getting wrong, they wonder why. It's because you guys are not obedient to the person who created you. If somebody does so many good things for you in your life, and you don't show that person appreciation, that person is going to stop. And then from there, when you're left to your own devices and negative things happen, you have nobody but yourself to blame. That's the reality. You feel what I'm saying? That is why we all speak different languages. That is exactly why women give birth to children. I believe, like I said before, I believe it was originally supposed to be men. But because of Eve sinning, God made it as a consequence for women to be giving birth to children. That's why whenever you see a woman giving birth, she's always in pain. That pain that Eve started and had to bear when she gave birth to Cain and Abel is what every single woman since her has had to go through. It's a consequence. Now, the child is a blessing. Don't get that twisted because you're going to have people that are going to say, well, Wokey Bucks, what about the children that are born? Every child that is born on this earth is a blessing from God. I don't care what you say. You might have been born, you might have been conceived through a demonic process, but you're still a blessing. I don't care, you know? That is a situation in this situation right now, if we're to be completely honest, you know? But with that being said, I don't see any negatives in people speaking different languages, right? Because languages, if you think about it, there are forms of communication. There are ways that people basically use to be able to communicate with each other and speak to each other, to be able to understand each other and understand the common goals and missions that are here for us to accomplish in this world before we perish, right? That's the reality. But a lot of people don't really see it like that, unfortunately, you know? But here on this channel, we speak nothing but the truth because we have nothing but the truth to gain. You know what I'm saying? And we're here to educate people. We're here to grow as a community, grow as a society. So in our reality, that's the reason why we speak different languages. But with that being said, there's so many different languages in this world, right? We have English, which is probably the most common. I think it's the national or the worldwide language, right? You have English, you have Chinese, you have French, you have Spanish, you have Igbo, you have Hausa, you have Yoruba, you have Zulu, you have Fulani, I think they speak Hausa. You have so many different languages that are spoken worldwide. And what are they spoken for? As forms of communication. It's a way to be able to communicate with other people. You feel what I'm saying? That's what it is. One quick second, guys. My bad, guys. My bad, guys. We're gonna hop back on it now. So yeah, like I said, that is the reason why you see us speaking different languages. You feel what I'm saying? Because it was a method of God using to be able to discourage people from building that tower. Because, like I said, human nature. You've seen this since the beginning of time. I brought up the Adam and Eve example of Eve and Adam sinning against God, right? And another example with the Israelites when they were leaving Egypt to go back to the land of Canaan. So many ways in which they disrespected God. For example, they tried to make a gold cow into their God, right? Which God tells us that we should never use money as an idol, which is basically saying that we should never love money more than we love God. But there are so many bad things that our ancestors before us did that God used to say that, you know what, if I didn't have a little bit more patience in me, I would have never created human beings. But that's you as a human being left up to your natural devices as a human being, right? Because this is for the people, especially that say that we don't have free will. Are you telling me that those people in the Bible didn't have free will when they committed those sins? God didn't force them to. He gave them the option and they chose evil. That just goes to show you, human nature, if you leave somebody to their own devices, they're probably going to end up doing more evil than they are going to do good, right? It takes a different type of individual to really be able to see the difference and do the right thing majority of the time, if not all the time, right? But all in all, guys, that is the main reason why we do speak different languages. I think it has its positives, and it should be something that should be encouraged. And then from there we move forward. You feel what I'm saying? Don't see it as a negative. See it as a positive. There are many languages in this world that we speak, and there are many languages to be learned. You know. And with that being said, you use it as an opportunity to grow every single day. You understand? But listen, if you understand, it's because you're woke. If you don't understand, unfortunately, you're not woke. This is gonna be in this live stream for now. We're probably gonna end up live streaming in probably a couple minutes or worst case scenario an hour. If you like this video, make sure you go spam that like button, leave comments, share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel at WokeEbucks, WOKEEBUKS. Tap the notification bell to get all the latest videos that I post. Patreon link will be down in the description below, and all the social media links. So make sure you go give those a check. But without further ado, this is going to be the end of this video. This is WokeEbucks, and I'm out, man.